Hey, what's up, everybody? Here at my camp in Central Colorado. It's a pretty good day today. The winds have finally settled down. It's been windy like you wouldn't believe. There was a storm of where the wind was creating bursts of up to 110 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour throughout the mountains. It didn't hit that heavy down here, but it was just so windy that we just couldn't get anything done around camp, and it was just kind of hunkering down. If you guys saw the video the other day, I had some buddies come visit at camp, and it was pretty windy. We did some RC, like rock crawling with some remote control cars, which was pretty cool. But I mean, we had to hunker down pretty early at night because it got pretty cold. But we didn't get any snow here. There was some snow. I think Aspen got hit pretty hard. Breckenridge got hit pretty hard, like with some good accumulation. But none down here. We had like a tiny bit of rain, so it wasn't anything big. But why don't we go? I want to take y'all on a tour of camp here. So grab the camera. I'm using a different. I'm using the HP webcam, not the cam that's on my computer here, because that one doesn't do a very good job. So this one's a little bit better resolution. So we got Sierra right over here. She's been chilling all day, just kind of hanging out, just not really doing much. And she kind of spent some time down over by the creek over here, so we're gonna go check that out right now. But this is a good site. The only thing about it, which is a negative, is that it's a little shielded from the sun. So, like, harvesting solar here is a bit difficult. As you can see, there's really no direct sunlight. And so what I'll do is I'll take the battery out of the truck, of the back seat, and then I've got that Renogy fold-up panel, and I'll take it and I'll put it out by the road over there where there's better sunlight. So that's what I've been doing during the daytime. But down over here, let me turn this around. Here's the creek that comes right down in this section. Then it comes down over here. And I've got my truck parked right here, so it ends up wrapping around camp. And we'll walk down over there. It's a really cool area. I really like this creek. The water in it is similar to the water that I was purifying over for the wintertime when I was winter camping. It's got a similar taste to it. It's like nice and sweet. Hey, Sierra, come over here, girl. Come on, let's go down to the creek. So it's like nice and sweet. And I don't know what makes it like that. So here's where I'll come purify water. And I like it because it's got all this moss growing on the shoreline here. So I really like that stuff. I think it's really cool looking. That's one thing about Colorado that's neat, is that the mountain areas stay moist enough. Okay, here comes Sierra. Come over here, girl. The mountain areas stay moist enough to where that stuff grows. We're kind of getting a little far away from the router, so it's going to be a little choppy with the video, but we'll go back to the truck here shortly and be good to go. But the creek continues on like this. And then there's a pool down over here, which I made for cold plunging. And so it's not right here. It's actually down a little bit more. I hope that we keep the connection here, but let's walk down. I'll show you. Yeah, we're good. So right here is where I built the little pool. So you can come down here in the morning and cold plunge. And it's real nice to get a little, cryotherapy going on. It feels really good on your joints. I don't know if you all have ever done that cryotherapy, but it feels amazing. So, and also with my allergies, that really helps. Now, if you all saw in the video, there was that seasonal creek that was running pretty good. Look at how much the flow has decreased. I mean, it's running down to a trickle now. And in the video, if you remember, this was up much higher. And so the snow melt, it's already starting to dissipate a little bit. And I noticed with the creek down here, with that creek, that it's really starting to not flow nearly as heavy, and the water's clearing up, which means that there's none of that mud spring runoff. So, Sierra, come here, girl. So anyway, but I'm gonna leave here tomorrow. I think I've been thinking about going up actually to that site where I had that Bigfoot encounter. So I don't know if it was a Bigfoot or what it was, that creature that was running away from me on that defunct section of the Continental Divide Trail. So I'm thinking about going to camp back up there because there's really good fishing up there. And this weekend there's amazing like barometric pressure patterns that will make it to where it's really good fishing out there. So I may roll up there and fish, and then camp in that spot and get some footage of that. Let's get some more footage of like that area, because when I did the video of it, it was just a recount of what happened. But I'd like to show y'all kind of like where that's Sierra's over there playing. That girl is constantly playing. Like when there's no fire ban and I'm cutting up firewood, she'll sit there and I'll like cut up little sticks to have this kindling, you know. And so I'll cut up the sticks and I'll put it next to like the fire pit, and then I'll look over and she'll have taken like 3 or 4 of them behind my back, and she's taking them and stashing them around camp so she can chew on them. So, all right, let's get caught up on comments here. So let's see. Let me go back to the front. Let's see. Is everybody able to see me okay? I hope so. It's looking like on my end. I mean, it looks like I'm okay, but of course that's on my end. I don't know how y'all are looking. So let's see. Brenda, why close? What pass was closed down? Let's see. Brenda was talking about a pass that was closed down. I don't see. Oh, Red Mountain Pass was closed. Huh, I wonder why. I mean, it could be that it still got snow, because when I was up in Silverton last week, there was still quite a bit of snow up there. So, let's see. Hiding in the bathroom to catch some of this. Chavella's playing. That's funny. That's funny. You're hiding in the bathroom to catch some of this. Yeah, Sierra's doing great. She's right over here. Let me show you. She's just over here playing. What are you doing, sweetie? Say hi to everybody. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let me see you. Come here. Come on over here. Okay, she's just gonna sit there and look, but she's doing good. We slept in really a long time this morning. We slept in till like 9:30, which was great because it's been kind of cold here the past couple nights, and you go to bed and it's not that cold, and then you wake up and it's freezing. So I got down to like 34 2 nights ago, and the last night was 36. By the way, I'm using this thermocell thing. I don't know if you all have ever used these. They're a little deal that it fits on top of this canister, and it kicks out a little bit of mist from this little pad here. It's got like some chemicals in it, I think, and it makes it to where the mosquitoes don't come around. And for some reason, this doesn't work with the MSR fuel cans. Like, I don't know if you can see, there's like a little bit of mist coming from it. Can't really see it. But anyway, so what this does is this creates a barrier around you of like 10 feet so where mosquitoes don't come in. And it really works well. I just kicked it on and now the mosquitoes are gone. So, but it only works on canisters that are not MSR fuel. And like I said, I don't understand why that's the case. Okay, let's see. Oh, so they just opened Red Mountain Pass with snow slide. Oh, snow slide from Miltoff. Yeah, that's still going to happen. I think all those passes, like the real big ones. Oh, Ray, yeah, you can put your logo on there. That's totally cool. If you want, Ray, on my website, there's that contact form. If you click on that, you can email me, and then I'll email you the high-res image. That way it looks good. So I don't mind doing that. So yeah, shoot that over to me if you get a chance, and I'll respond this evening. But I think that, so I think tomorrow I'm gonna pack up, take off from here, and go into that area that I was talking about where I had the strange encounter in the mountains, and then after that, just start fishing around. My waders. I talked to my mom, and she's gonna send my waders out to me, and so I guess I left them in the garage at my folks' place. So until I have those waders, I can't really get into like some really gnarly fishing because it's a lot of that stuff. It requires, a lot of wading to get through some really soggy areas, especially in the high elevations where all the snow's melting. Like that's really bogged out right now. So you really need waders for that. But there's some areas that I can still get into. I think without waders before those arrive. So I'm going to go try that out and see what I can do. And then let's see. Yeah, I saw that somebody found that hidden treasure. Let's see. Thanks for the compliment, Van Life RV. Let's see what else have we got here. Keep on rocking, dude. Thanks, Zach. And then Ray, yeah, that's cool, man. I let me know what that looks like when that's all done. So that'd be awesome. But just to let you guys know, the heads up. So that bumper that was in the last video that I did, the bumper that both Leo and Tyler had on their trucks, that's the bumper that I have coming. And I just talked to a 4x4 shop today. It's Tompkin Machine. They're the ones that did the lift on my truck. They did the repair lifts because I originally had a lift from Four Wheel Parts that was a piece of junk, and it ended up damaging my suspension. So they went back in and repaired everything, and then put in the ARB Old Man Emu suspension. But they're going to do the rear bumper, and then I'm also getting a snorkel, and finally get excited for all that stuff. And that should be done probably by like, I should have everything. I think the bumper will be here by the third week of July. And so I'm going to kind of stick around the central Colorado, southwest Colorado area. I would like to go back to Pagosa Springs and hit up those hot springs, those free ones. But anyway, yeah. So I'll be sure to give Sierra some kisses from you. So we'll talk to you later. Yeah, Joe, I'll put up a link. Let me see if I can grab that real quick right now, and I'll put it up in the comment section here. I had a really weird encounter in the mountains. It was like 3 years ago, I want to say. And let me pull up the video here. I mean, I want to say it was like a Sasquatch or something, or something similar. I don't know for sure what it was, but it wasn't a bear, and it wasn't a moose, and it was running away from me really fast. I thought it was these kids from town screwing me, but when I got up there and saw what it was, okay, here it is. All right, let me grab this link. Whoops. I'll put this link in the video description here. Okay, so that's the one that talks about what happened. And I mean, I've been out here for 5 years, every night, nothing strange. I've had very few strange things happen. This was the only thing that made me stay out of the mountains for like a month. So I'm gonna go back up there and check it out and see if there's, I doubt anything will happen. I had camped there a bunch before, never anything had happened. But for some reason, when I was up there that one time, just that morning, things just went haywire. So rock coconut water tonight, being healthy. So, oh, nice, Heather. Yeah, Pagosa's great hot springs. Ouray has also has really great hot springs. In Saguache County, there's good hot springs. There's Valley View, and then Joyful Journey, and then let's see. There's hot springs by Durango. I don't know what those are though. They're the ones that are like north of town, just like 10 miles, kind of in that Hermosa area. I don't know if those are good or not. I know that there's a big pool there, but it looks just kind of marginal. But those are great. And then if anybody ever goes to southern New Mexico, that's the place to go for hot springs, because you can base out of like Silver City area, and then go down to like Faywood Hot Springs, and then kick over to Truth or Consequences, and then go back up to the Hot Springs District, and then kick back over to the Gila Wilderness area and hit up those hot springs. So that's really a cool area down there. So yeah, I know the hot springs there are they're all open now, so which is cool. But they have that free one, which it's the same water vein, so I just go to the free one. That's along the river. So yeah, the Gila is awesome, and the Gila Hot Springs, that campground is really cool too. So that's a great area to go to. And then the hot spring, I think it's called like it's like Tenderfoot or something, or no, Blackfoot Hot Springs or Black Lightning Hot Springs. The ones that are literally like only a half a mile past the visitor center for the Gila Cliff Dwellings Wilderness area thing. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, that Skinwalker Ranch, man. I don't know about that. That's crazy. I don't know, man. It seems like that place. There's just so many different people that talk about all the crazy stuff that goes on out there, and you got to think that we don't know everything that goes on in this world, and who knows what goes on in the galaxy. So there's got to be something else out there, and that'd be crazy if that was like some portal or something. I don't think I'd have the guts to go out there though. I'm gonna have a tough time going back to the place where I had my encounter, and I don't know. I get kind of spooked easy with that stuff, so I don't want to spook myself, because if I'm out here by myself, it's just it compounds, So, but Timble Hot Springs is what it was. Happy Camper Brenda. That's what I was thinking of. But does anybody have any questions about like what's going on out here, because all the public lands now are, I mean, they're open. The campgrounds, I think they're slowly being open. I don't think that there's no like rush to open up the campgrounds. I've seen some that are open, like the one up at North Fork Reservoir was open, but that's kind of remote and that's back up in there. I don't know if the main ones are open yet. But the forest is open. I mean, the Forest Service has been coming through here patrolling just to make sure nobody's doing fires. The reason why there's a fire ban is because the wind has been so incredibly bad that would perpetuate any sort of campfire that gets blown across, will light other stuff on fire. So, and it's pretty dry too. But there's some rain in the forecast, I think, for this Saturday, and then also for next week. So hopefully, if that happens, we can have some campfires. And if not, might just have to wait till the fall. And I know the campfire ban started as soon as the COVID stuff hit. So they did that because most areas were shut down and a lot of the resources that they had were limited. And I think some of the government employees were on that. It was the winter. I don't think the spring had started up. It was still spring, so a lot of them were still on their winter leave. So anyway, the roads are fine on public lands, Gail. You get above 10,000 feet and they start to get muddy in some areas. If there's some areas that are shaded, they're still holding snow. But for the most part, I mean, some of the mountains back behind me here are 14ers and they're clear, all the way to the top. There's pockets of snow, but there's more showing than snow. And so I think the trails are in pretty good shape. I'll find out tomorrow when I get up higher. And if I can get cell reception where I'm at up there, my booster, the one that I have now, is much powerful than the one I had last year. So when I get up there, if I flip it on and have service, then I'll dial y'all in with what's going on up there. But I think for the most part, all the trails are fine. So, it's really dry out here, Athena. It's really dry. So let's keep driving past. I don't think it's rained, at least in this area, and then also in the San Luis River Valley. I don't think it's rained for like 2 or 3 months. So there's a little bit of there, even with snow, there hasn't been much. So Sierra's right here for those that are asking. She's just chilling right next to me. So she's just hanging out. She had a long day of napping in the sun, so she's been really tired. Turn this back. But yeah, DJ, I don't understand what you see, what's different. Let's see, favorite spot outside the lower 48. Zach, I'd have to say, when I was down in Peru, that was pretty awesome down there. We went surfing in the southern part of Peru for 3 weeks and stayed at this really killer place right on the beach there. And they would do surf taxis. So we'd have water taxis that would take us out to all these different surf spots because it was all cliffs. And then the people that were driving the water taxis, they'd fish while we were out surfing. And then they'd fillet up the fish and then they'd have it ready for us when we come back in the boats. So that was really cool. And it was dirt cheap, which was crazy. And then spent 2 weeks over in the Cusco area, checking out all the Inca ruins and all that stuff. It was really cool. So that was really nice. And then also too, I like Central America a bunch too. And that's where I'll probably go eventually. And when I get a bigger camper, a bigger truck, when I start to slow down, I'll probably start spending more time in Central and South America just because I like it down there. It's a good vibe. So I'm going to be, let's see, where you caught brown trout outside of Crested Butte. Where was that at? Let's see. A pond with a waterfall. Oh, that was where that campsite was. That was where that campsite was. That's a campsite that's actually in Poverty Gulch, but you can't reach it right now. It's swamped out as far as Slate River Road is probably got way too much water volume going through it right now. And the section where you used to go across right there at Pittsburgh, the culvert there got washed out last year, and there's a real deep section through there, so you could really swamp out your vehicle. But there's better fishing in Crested Butte along Slate River, or along Gothic Road. Once you get past the, once you get past like the campground area, there's like a 4 or 5 site campground out there on the left-hand side of the road if you're going away from town. Once you get past that river, all those bends in the river are really good. So those are like brown trout. I think there's some rainbows, but it's mainly brown trout in there. And there's some brooks too when you're up higher. So that's a good area to go to. Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy? And let's see, Paul. Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to drive to South America eventually. but there's so much to see here in the States. That's the thing about it. As I was telling some people the other day, they're asking about, what's my next plan and where do I want to go to and all those different things. I mean, the answer is I want to go to everywhere, but I just know there's not going to ever be enough time to see everything. But I've been on the road for 5 years, and I've been all over, in my opinion, all over like Colorado, good portion of Arizona, lots of parts of New Mexico, some parts of California, a lot of parts of Utah, and I feel like I've literally just scratched the surface. You can be busy out here forever. There's so much to see on these public lands, and it's cool because like a lot of the areas that you'll hear about, you'll go there, and that's like the launching point to find all the really cool areas around that not a lot of people go to. And I know everybody complains about too many people out these days on public lands, and a lot of areas do get overrun. A lot of national parks get overrun and stuff like that, just because like they're beautiful and there's a reason why they're national parks and they're easy to access. You can drive there and everything. But there are still areas you can get to that are not crowded. And you can get there and you just chill out and hang. So I encourage everybody just to get out, and when you're out driving trails, if you see a trail that you don't know about and it looks like it's a good one and your vehicle can handle it no problem, go down and see if you can find some good campsites, because a lot of these campsites like this campsite, I put the drone up, you can't see this campsite from like the from a satellite image. So if you're using Google Maps to look out new areas to camp at, Sierra looks really cute right now. By the way, check her out. She's over here just chilling. Anyway, but if you're looking for that to find new campsites, sometimes you won't be able to find the sites like this one because there'll be a lot of tree growth around them. So the sites that only you can see are the ones where there's no trees. So if it's like a rock landscape, or if the area has been totally inundated with people, then it's going to show a lot of use, and you can see that from a satellite image. So I find a lot of people ask me like, well, how do you find these campsites? And I literally just spend countless hours driving 4x4 trails and finding sites. And then when I find good ones, I don't share the locations because I don't want to give them out. So I just tell people, it's kind of fun too to go out and find the spot. When you find a really awesome spot and it's open, you're like, yeah. So it just makes it that much more fun. Yeah, Central Oregon. I want to get out there. I was planning on being there by this time, by this time this year, but with COVID and everything hitting, kind of put a damper on everything. So we'll get out there later this year, which is going to be cool. And Adventure Bear. Hey, what's up, Jen? I saw about you. You brought the pizza. You gotta start living out of your vehicle full time, Jen. I'm telling you, this is the life. You gotta just do it. So. Let's see, great big mountains to camp in, great beer. Yeah, it really is. This Alberta Adventure, this is a great area. And the thing I like is Colorado and parts of Utah, New Mexico, and up north, you get into Wyoming, some of those areas. The mining history is so rich in these areas. Like there's trails everywhere. And so as long as you have a trail ready vehicle, like that was one thing when I got into doing this. Everybody's like, well, why don't you do it in a van? I'm like, because there'll be a time where I need to get away from everybody, and 4x4 is going to be it. And granted, I'd love to have the comfort of a van, but being able to get away from everybody, especially now with what's been going on, it's great to be able to go to some of these spots and just not see anybody. And I'm seeing some of my friends in passenger vans that have really great build outs that aren't comfortable taking them off road. I'm seeing them getting harassed a bunch. And so, I never wanted to be in that spot. I wanted to have it to where, if the shit hit the fan, which it has, that I could get away from everybody. And I'm really excited for the next month before I get all the truck upgrades done here in town, because, I'm going to be able to hang out in this area. This is the area where I had all these trails that I adopted for 2 years. And I ran those trails all the time. There are 15 different 4x4 trails. And there's spurs that go off of all of them. I know all the campsites. I know all the great places to fish, all that stuff. And so I'm excited. And I think, we're still not seeing a whole lot of people on public lands out here in Colorado. It's nothing like it normally is. So I think a lot of people are still staying home. And unfortunately, a lot of people, got laid off too. So if you've got the funds to travel and you've got the flexibility, I'd say come on out, because you'd be surprised at how many people are not here. So, Denver Survival Company. I'll probably get. It's probably gonna be a couple of years. I love my truck. I still have a bunch more things I want to do to it, and I want to try to build a custom camper on the back that's going to be like a Transformer style camper. But I'm waiting for the bumper to come first because I want to have that on before I do anything. I'll probably go at that first gen, like the 2005, 2006 um, uh, model that has like the 6-inch deeper bed, and then just totally pimp it out. And then I could do that while I'm driving this, and then I'm good to go. Um, so let's see, FJ Cruisers. Yeah, those FJ Cruisers are dope, man. Those are nice trucks. And I was actually thinking about one of those a long time ago before I got before I got my Tacoma. I was thinking about an FJ, and ended up not going with it. But I've always thought those are great. And you put a lift on those things, man, they can go anywhere. So let's see, favorite spot in Canada. I've only been to Vancouver, so I can't really speak to Canada very much. And I also went over to Apex Mountain to go snowboarding. But Vancouver was really nice. It was like the cleanest city I've ever been to in my life. So that was pretty cool. Um, let's see, what else is going on. As far as nomad life goes, my buddy Craig, he went back to the East Coast to go help his sister out with some stuff. She's a surgeon, and so she's been real busy with everything that's been going on. And so he went back to help her with some stuff. And I think he's going to spend the winter up in the New England area. Phil from down to Mob, he's back in Arizona. I left Arizona, obviously, and came here to Colorado. And I was going to go out to California to get my bumper installed, but California is just kind of iffy on, I don't know what's going to happen with the COVID stuff out there. So I don't want to get trapped out there. So I'm just going to stay here for the meantime, run these trails, the ones that I know, wait for my bumper upgrades to be done, and the rest of those installs. And then if by that time, maybe the Orient Land Trust will be open and I can go volunteer down at that ranch that I was talking about at. But if not, I mean, if things are still dicey, then I'm just going to take off for the Pacific West and then circle back through here next year. So let's see what else. If you have a dog, you're socially acceptable to me. That's funny. What's up, Michael in Oregon? Mix it up, Kenny. Yeah, the RC rocks crawling. That's so much fun, man. I can do that all day long. And it's fun here, too, because, like, if you look around, there's all these rocks that you can pick good lines in. And then you go up the hill there's, like, a ton of rocks over there and bigger boulders, and you can pick lines for that. And then also, too, through the creek over here, in some areas, it runs shallow enough to where, you can just run it through there, too. So it's pretty cool. But one thing I like about this site is, obviously I'm sitting in a hammock right now, but over by the creek over there, there's tons of trees that are big that are right along the creek. And you can set up the hammock and just chill over there. So this is a really great spot. There's good hiking around the corner. There's actually a hiking trail right there, which I can link up with the Colorado Trail in 1.25 miles from here. So this is a good site. This is a site where I've had many battles with Craig with cards, and that guy has beat me. I've never once won a card game against that guy. And in the years that I've been playing cards, he's like, I think he cheats. He probably counts cards or something. So, all right. Oh, hey Ray. Yeah, actually, I've got a Patreon that I've got. So when you shoot me that email and I send back the logo, I'll include the link for that. So it's the Patreon. Or I can just do it right here. Let me grab on the computer. That's it. It is a nice night. It has been so windy here, and it's been cold because, let's see here, Colorado. Come on. This isn't cooperating. Now, 1 second. I can't do two things at once on a guy. Off-grid backcountry. Is that the right one? Yeah, that's it. All right, let me put this up, and then I'll put that on there. No, I've not hiked any of the Pacific Crest Trail, and I've heard now that that's pretty busy. But I would like to start doing the state trails, like the Arizona Scenic Trail. Like that's insane. That I've done a few sections of that. That's beautiful. I'd like to do the Colorado Trail. I'd love to do the Continental Divide Trail. But the only thing is I worry about Sierra, for long distance hikes, and so I don't know about that. I may have to do that once once her time here is done. So, well, we'll see. But I also want to do the Grand Gulch in Bears Ears. That's the one that's up on Cedar Mesa. I think that's considered I think that's one of the top 3 backpacks in the country. It's like a 50-mile backpack, this insane gulch. It's like this canyon that is as impressive as the Grand Canyon, just not as deep. And so I'd love to go do that one. That'd be really cool. Indian Peaks Wilderness, yeah. I used to go fly fishing up there a bunch. That's a great area to go up to. So Indian Peaks it's a good area. I mean, it's basically Rocky Mountain National Park with 1/50th of the people. It's the same terrain. So I'm still, Yeah, man, that crazy that pulled the gun on me. She was totally unhinged. And the crazy thing about it was she was like, "Get your dog away from me!" And Sierra was at camp, and she's walking into our camp, and I was like, "Why don't you walk around? There's a freaking trail that they like. You have to intentionally walk this way." Then she comes over, and so Sierra starts bounding over because she's excited. She's like jumping up and down. She pulls out her gun. And it's like she's like, "I'm gonna shoot your dog," and I must have gotten like lightning speed ran over there. What's up? Lightning speed ran over there and like got in between her and the gun and the dog. And I was like, I go, "You shoot my dog, you're gonna, yeah, that's it." I was like, "You're done." I was like, "Let me grab her and put her in the truck." So I grabbed her and put her in the truck, and the lady was just popping off. And so I recorded it, and then I told her, I go, "How do you know I'm not some crazy person that's just gonna like beat the shit out of you? Like, why would you talk to somebody like that you don't know in the backcountry? Why? Because you have a gun on your hip? Like, does she think she's the only person out here with a gun? Like, that's crazy. You don't ever act aggressive out here. You always try to disarm any situation because the thing is, you're by yourself. Like, there's no police out here." And the forest ranger told me that. Like, he told me, he's like, "Dude, no one's coming to save you out here. So you're on your own. So the best thing you can do is just do your best to just diffuse the situation. Don't ever escalate it." And so for her to go out there and be aggressive like that to a guy that she doesn't know that has a dog, and I guarantee you she sucks as a shot because her pistol, if she was holding it wrong, and I'm just like, this lady's an idiot. You just don't do that. So just don't, like, just word of caution. If you're out there in the backcountry, of course, be armed. At least have a knife with you or something. But you don't ever brandish it and wave it around like you're John Wayne. That's just stupid. That's the quickest way to get shot. Somebody will be like, "Holy cow, I don't know what this person's like. I don't know him." Boom, and you're over. So it's just stupid. And I agree. I don't think she should have a gun. So let's see. As a feel compromised is on definitely. Yeah, Deborah. I do feel safe normally, and I have a bunch of friends that are female that full time. And I think what it is just being familiar with your surroundings. Like, I've had situations, just, I mean, even as a guy, to where I'll pull up in an area, somebody will pull up to camp in an area close to me. I'll get a weird vibe from them and I'll just leave, and it's like, just always trust your instincts when you're doing this. And then have different things available. And like, the best non-lethal deterrent you can use is bear spray. It lays down like a really great cloud, it's almost like a foam ball, like a cloud about 3 or 4 feet tall. You can spray it out. It goes out about 30 feet and creates like this barrier. And then you don't have to be a good shot with that. You can actually be like doing two things at once and just pop it out, lay it down, and then run the other way, or drive the other way and get out of there. And so I think a lot of it comes down to just common sense. A lot of times I hear people that have bad experiences, and they're either like in an urban area to where they're not supposed to be, or they're camping next to people that are sketchy and they don't trust their gut. And I just tell people, I'm like, if you're out here and things feel off, chances are they are, then just move on to somewhere else. But I think you're safe as a woman being out here. Most people out here are pretty chill, and that's the thing about it is I've only run across one person where I got a really bad vibe from them. I'm like, this person is out here because they don't have any other options. Like, they're on the run. But most everyone else is like, really mellow. They're into nature. That they typically go hiking every day. Everybody's got a dog. If you have a dog, that's a great way to have an extra blanket of security with you out here. And so, dogs can sense other animals and people that are aggressive. They have like that sixth sense that we're kind of immune to. So, yeah, the Karens of the world. That's the truth, man. No, I've never actually seen any wolves. We did have a day in Crested Butte last year when we were camping in Poverty Gulch, where we literally had 6 black bears coming to camp in one day. There were 3 that were together, and then 3 that were separate. And it's easy to scare them away when they're not with their offspring. Like, if it's mama bear and her cubs, you're screwed. But if it's not, like, you just make a bunch of noise and they run off. You could pound against this with like your car keys and just be like, "Get out of here!" And they'll take off because they're real bad anxiety. So they're real skittish in that regard. I did have a black bear one time when I was camping over by Crestone, Colorado. They got into my cooler one night at camp because I left the cooler unhinged just a little bit. So I shone a flashlight out there. As a black bear. I'm like, whatever. And I just rolled over and went back to sleep. Other than that, no issues. I did have a moose walk into camp one time. The only thing about moose is they have really bad eyesight. So when they feel threatened, they just trample everything. And with those animals, they're so big that especially if you get a bull moose and if it's during rutting season. You just want to kind of watch out because those are really dangerous animals. So, oh, Lawrence, the lady, she was scared of Sierra, and so she thought that Sierra was going to attack her. So she pulled out her gun and told me she was going to shoot Sierra. All the while, she's walking towards our camp, and Sierra's like sitting in camp, and I'm like, who is this crazy person? So luckily, it was diffused. I got it reported to the police. The police were happy about that too because apparently in that area, it's off of Fawn Gulch Road. So just a heads up, Fawn Gulch Road, about 3 miles east of Pagosa Springs on Highway 160. Before you start to head up Wolf Creek Pass, there's a road there, and it says like Forest Service access. Well, there's a community right next to it, and I guess those people are really aggressive towards anybody that camps there. They've been trying to threaten people just to make it to where people won't go there. And so the Forest Service is real happy that I filled out the report because they're like, we need to have somebody filling out. Nobody's filling out up to this point. Would you do that, please? I'm like, yeah, of course. I don't want somebody out here threatening people. I mean, just because you buy a parcel of land next to public land and then people go out and use it for what it's intended for, you can't say that no people can't go there. Like that's stupid. So, yeah, it was just crazy. So, yeah, I know, Heather. I take my hammocks down at night for sure. Last thing I'm gonna do is get those animals tied up, and I'm same with the elk or the deer. So, um, but yeah, Sierra, what's up, girl? Hey, come over here, Sierra. Come over here. Come here. She's looking around like she's smelling something. I don't know if there's some animals around or if some people are coming. But anyway, the elevations that I'm going to be going up to, I'll be going up to like tree line now after tonight. So the evenings will be much cooler, but I think I'll be all right. I mean, I've got 3 layers of blankets in the back, and I did switch out my gear. I was carrying the winter gear in the truck topper, so like the real thick sleeping bag and like the heavy blankets, and I switched all those out for the summer gear. But like I said, I think I'll be okay up there. And if I get up there and it sucks, then I'll just turn around, come back here, and I don't know, go back up in a couple weeks or something like that. So let's see here. Let's see, horrible situation with Sierra. Okay, you guys are recapping what went on with Sierra. So, um, yeah, we should organize a group meetup where that lady was. That would be cool. What's nice about it is the hot springs is really close to there, so you can pack up your truck and be back down in town at that hot spring. I think within 5 miles of where that camp area is. I'll post up where that is on. I'll put like on the community section. Like I can put up like those chats that people will post on YouTube, just kind of on like your main page there. I'll post up a pin to where that is. So if y'all are rolling through, it's really a great view. I mean, the view is just spectacular back in there. There's a hiking trail that goes off there too, that goes back in a long way. And the guy that came out actually grew up in the area. He's like, oh, this area is sick back in here. But he did say he's like, it sucks just because these people next door just want to sit there and harass anybody that comes around. So it's crazy. So Captain Bob, nope, don't see any poisonous snakes. I did see a rattlesnake, which I killed and ate in New Mexico, but that was the only time I've ever seen a poisonous snake. Now, there's not any up here in the high country in Colorado. And then there is some out on the western slope and in the Utah area. But I usually go out there in the fall or in the spring when it's cold or when it's cooler, and so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff out there. Hey, we're going to transfer into the truck because I forgot to charge my computer earlier, and we're down to 11%. So let's switch over there. I'm going to move the camera around and stuff, and then we'll reconvene inside the topper. And I'll get Sarah up in there with me, and then we can kind of hang out. So let me switch over to here, and we're going to have to do a few things here. Hang on one second. All right, so there's that. All right. Okay, let's see here.